Hi, my name is Sebastian Feger, and I'm really excited to present our work Tailored Science Badges Enabling New Forms of Research Interaction on behalf of my co-authors Paweł Woźniak, Jasmin, Niess, and Albrecht Schmidt. We designed 6 badges, you can see them here on this title slide, specifically for the purpose of promoting and acknowledging open and reproducible science practices. Those badges differ from other already used badges as they are specifically tailored to a specific scientific environment, a specific domain, and even a specific infrastructure employed in this domain. In this very special case, the particle physics community, but I will talk about the environment a little bit later. First, I would like to talk about the motivation behind designing those badges. And it is really important to stress that, as the BBC also put it, most scientists can't replicate studies by their peers, which is a big issue because open and reproducible science are ultimately essential to verify and compare research, but also to enable reuse in science. They demand comprehensive research data management, including cleaning of data, documenting data, and sharing them. And all these actions, they require a lot of effort. And unfortunately, at the moment, we see that this effort is not matched with a fitting reward structure. And in order to promote open science, for example, the Center for Open Science designed the so-called Open Science Badges. You can see them here on this slide. And the Open Science Badges are very generic, as you can see. And because they are so generic, they have been adopted in 75 journals today across a number of very different scientific domains. And in fact, research showed that they have led to an increasing number of data and materials being shared in some of the journals. The ACM also designed several badges for the purpose of promoting sharing and replication. You can see them here, there are 5 badges, and although they are still quite generic in general, you could argue that they are already a bit more tailored in the sense that they are obviously focusing on the ACM conferences and the research conducted within the ACM's scope. Now we wanted to go one step further and consider how we can design badges and evaluate their effects that are even more closely tailored to a specific domain and infrastructure. And we profited from being installed at the CERN laboratory. CERN is a key laboratory in particle physics, which is itself one of the most data-intensive scientific domains. And at CERN, we developed the CERN Analysis Preservation Service, which is a community-tailored service that, as you can see here, for example, on the right-hand side, features tailored submission templates. Now, we designed in CERN Analysis Preservation 6 tailored science badges. You can see them here, the educational, innovative, popular, fundamental, reusable, and thorough badges. Those badges are based on previous gamification requirements research we conducted in the context of CERN analysis preservation and particle physics at CERN. And as you can see, the award and mechanism basically differs between these badges. We decided that the educational and innovative badges would be awarded based on votes from within the community. The popular and fundamental badges are interaction based, so based on the number of views as well as the number of forks. And the reusable and thorough badges are what we call the clear goals badges, where researchers are really in control of achieving those badges themselves by either making sure that their analysis runs in a pipeline or that it basically is so well documented that we can say that more than 90% of all the analysis fields are being thoroughly documented. You can see here in the next slides a few more screenshots from the implementation on the left-hand side part of the dashboard with analyses that are considered popular. You can see notification informing about new badges. There's a badge banner on the analysis. When you open an analysis, you see what badges have been awarded to it. And finally, the vote mechanism for the educational and innovative badge, as well as on the search page, the achievement facets. We conducted 11 sessions with researchers at CERN, where we asked them to explore the service and comment on it and rate it basically. And as you can see, we also included 2 participants from the upper management and basically our management representatives. Our results showed that when we asked them to rate the suitability of the badges, the reusable and thorough badges have been considered significantly more suitable than all other badges. And it's interesting because the reusable and thorough badges are in this clear goals group where the researchers are really in control of achieving those badges themselves. What I want to stress, however, is that those results are obviously grounded and based on a rather short exploration of the service, and also only 11 responses from 11 researchers. So I really want to stress this explorative character of our work and not overclaim our results here. Regarding goal commitment, we see quite similar results, in fact. Again, the reusable and thorough badges were considered to provoke a higher commitment, a goal commitment to achieving those at some point in the future than all the other badges except for the educational badge. We also recorded data from the interviews and also from the comments made by the scientists. And we assigned them to, basically we created 3 themes based on our data analysis. The effects theme is one that we already know quite well. So basically with gamification within the scientific community, we increase the visibility of researchers as well as the visibility of their work. In turn, potentially improving and fostering their career perspectives. And since this is something that we already know quite well about, we focus on the other 2 themes here, content interaction and criteria. And related to content interaction, we see that researchers really stress that, as for example P4 called it, it gives you a different way to query the database. I think the main thing is you attach new information that the current way we archive science doesn't afford. And this is really interesting and important because we obviously see that with digital data now being prevalent in all scientific fields basically, the number of data, the volume of data being preserved and shared continuously grows. So we have to think about some way of making sense and basically providing a way to navigate and access data in a meaningful way that is being preserved by scientists. And as the researchers in our study showed, or basically stressed, means like tailored science badges can very well do this, and it can probably do this better than more generic badges, in fact. However, given that impact, ultimately impact on researchers' visibility and the visibility of science, researchers also stress that we have to make criteria very clear. We have to think about protection mechanisms, both for accidental as well as inaccidental, also on purpose manipulation. As for example P3 stressed, showing that, well, if people try to fork it several times, fork again, but still doesn't work, you see, oh, it's very reusable. We forked a lot. No, it's not. This is obviously an example of an accidental way of pushing an analysis towards this sort of fundamental award. And we have to really make sure that we communicate criteria well, that we communicate also protection mechanisms well, and also examples of what a badge really means. And this brings me to the conclusion. So as I wanted to stress, basically tailored science badges enable a focused support. Do that, as we see, much better, obviously much better than more generic badges can do. Game design elements, and especially tailored science badges, they require guidance, protection, and examples, as we saw. And we see indications that the clear goals badges are likely to foster adoption of tailored science badges in the service, and possibly any kind of game design element in this serious context. Lastly, tailored science badges offer new opportunities to interact with research and also with the growing amount of research that we preserve, for which it is really important. Thank you so much.